What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy, Sean and Kareem with Empire Radio Magazine with my lovely co-host,
Jaslyn Jane.
Man, and this week, man, we got some great stuff for you guys. You don't want to miss this, man. Stay to the end. Like, man, how are you feeling this week?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed. I can't complain, man. Feeling real healthy, feeling real good.
Good. So speaking on health, we're going to go ahead and touch base on that today.
Okay, cool. What you got for me?
So I wanna kick this off with, what is something that you've learned about yourself health-wise since this pandemic started?
For me personally, self-love is one thing that I learned, and then two, like the things that I eat as well. Like I learned a lot during the pandemic. Like, man, like when it was like not really a lot of options and a lot of things you could do, like you had to really pay attention to like your body and just the things that you was putting into your body. So for me, I learned a lot about like, my intake and the things that I wanted to eat and indulge in. So that's one thing I could say like that I really learned in. Like, what about you?
Okay, cool. So I've learned the same about myself as well. Even though I've been on this health journey for a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Especially with me, I'm a type 1 diabetic. So since I was 11 years old. So it's been 20 years. I've been a type 1 diabetic for 20 years.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You got to educate me on this. Wait a minute. So you can become a diabetic, like, because, a lot of things in the community of black people, whatever, right? We don't educate ourselves on health, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to be real with you. And I may probably get talked about or laughed at, but I thought you could only become diabetic when you was overweight.
Right. And so I would like to elaborate on that because that is the biggest misconception in the black community.
Right.
We all think that same thought, well, how do you have diabetes? You're fit, you're tall and thin and,
Yeah.
I thought you only get it when you're overweight or when you're obese, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, nah, there are two types. So it's type 1, which is genetic. You can get it genetically through type 1.
Yeah.
And then type 2 is where you're overweight.
Okay.
So there are two different types. And yes, even though within the black community, we automatically think, well, how do you have diabetes? You're not overweight. Yes, that is one of the reasons. That is one of the ways you can get diabetes by being overweight. But also the other one is through genetics. And so that's how I got type 1 diabetes.
Yeah.
That's how I was diagnosed. Let me not say got, but I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 11 years old. And it was strictly through genetics.
So with that, like being said and like you learning that or whatever, like you said since 11, right?
Yes.
So since 11, like how has that like made you get more into like your health and like really like doing a lot of studying and researching on things and just bring you to the point to where now you like, yo, like this is something that I pay attention to.
Right. So to keep it short, what had happened was with me being so young, first of all, preteen on top of that, right? So diagnosed at 11 years old, preteen. I got, friends that are out here, eating honey buns and Starburst and, whatever.
Guilty.
As soon as we get out of school, we go into the corner store to get all the snacks. And so I wanted to keep up with that. You know what I mean? I didn't want to let that go. At 11 years old, in your mind, you're not thinking like, I gotta let it go. It's what's best for my health. You're thinking, nah, like I've been doing this for, hella long and my friends is over here eating it. I want to eat it too.
Right.
So it took a while. It did take a while for me to take my health seriously. I definitely was very careless for a little while. I was very careless. I would say about 7-8 years ago is when I finally started taking it serious.
Right.
And that's when I got heavy into the research and what works for me, because even though I'm a type 1 diabetic and you could be a type 1 diabetic, right? What works for me may not work for you. And that's life in general. You know what I mean? You know how that works. Like a workout that works for you may not work for me.
Right. That's a fact.
Right. So, and it's the same thing with, your consumption of foods and stuff like that. So I had to learn balance. I had to learn how to balance my plates. I had to make sure I had a protein, a starch, and a veggie.
Yeah.
Like that's automatic. You know what I mean? So it was rough. It was real rough. But like I said, about 7-8 years ago is when I finally really, really got into it. And I'm like, it's time. It's time for me to start taking it serious, because whether you want to believe it or not, there are people out there with type 1 diabetes that are passing away at 21, 22 years old. You know what I mean? Because they're being reckless. They're being careless. But again, in my opinion, there's not enough information out there on type 1 diabetes within the Black community.
Yeah.
Diabetes in general, not even just type 1, diabetes in general. There's not enough information out there for the Black community to acknowledge themselves on.
Right.
And that's a problem. That's
You're gonna be mad at
problem.
me. You're gonna be mad at me. Like, I'm a candy junkie. Like, I've been that way since I was little. Like,
Right.
I love candy. Like, that's
Right.
one of my addictions. Like, I cannot stop eating candy. Like, I even got to the point to where, like, now I can go without it. But after so long, I'm like, yo, I gotta have candy. Like, I love sweets, cupcakes, cheesecake.
And let me tell you this though.
Yeah.
Now people also think that, if, like how you just told me, I eat so much junk, I'm gonna mess around and catch diabetes. You know what I mean? Like, I hear so many different phrases, when it involves diabetes, and it's just like, none of them are true though, which is so funny. Like, you know what I mean? So many people misconstrue that if they're sitting there eating all this junk, they're eventually gonna, get diagnosed with diabetes. That's not necessarily true.
Right. Yeah.
It all depends on your genetic makeup, really, even with the type 2. Because again, if you come from a heavy set family, it's kind of sort of already in your genetic makeup. You know what I mean? That you may potentially be heavy set as well, but you can stop that in its tracks. You know what I mean? You may come from a heavy set family, but if you mentally decide, I don't want to be a part of that, let me do what I got to do for me to make sure that my health stays on track. That way I'm not a part of all the unhealthiness when it involves, coming from that genetic makeup.
Yeah.
Because, everything trickles down. It all trickles down.
Right.
So, it's diabetes is rough though. It's rough. So that's one of the main reasons why I ended up going on this cleanse. So I had just recently went on this cleanse.
Tell me about it. Let me know about this. I've been hearing a lot about this. I need to know about it.
So this cleanse was supposed to be a 90-day cleanse.
Okay.
Strictly alkaline fruits, water, coconut water, and hot tea. That's it. That was the only thing you were allowed to consume.
Yeah.
Literally, you had to let go of smoking, drinking. You even had to let go of sex. No sex, no smoking, no drinking, no going out to the club and partying. It was strictly like you are sitting there.
This a complete detox.
Yes, a complete detox.
Okay.
So again, just alkaline fruits, water, coconut water, hot tea. That's it. And when I tell you, I had my mindset on that 90-day completion. I really did. But I broke. None of us are perfect. We all, fall by the wayside sometimes, but it's all right. I'm just proud that I even made it up to 39 days. So I got to, 39 days. And I lost a total of 30 pounds. It was not intentional. It was very unintentional. It's part of the cleanse. There's nothing you could do about the weight loss. Some people go into it for weight loss. Okay. I personally wasn't going into it for weight loss. I was going into it for mental clarity.
Okay.
So, and it did just that. Literally, the cleanse did just that. It gave me that mental clarity that I was yearning for. You know what I mean? Because we don't realize all that we consume on a daily basis. When we're looking at these phones, we're looking at these TVs, even when we take a step outside of our front door, we're seeing what's going on the street. We're taking all this in unconsciously, and it's like that clutters the brain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we're subconsciously taking this on, and we're not in control. For the most part, we think we're in control, right? But we're really not in control. We think we're in control of what's going on up here, but we're really not.
Yeah.
Because we're subconsciously taking things in that can alter the mind sometimes. So when you let go of all these things, you let go of everything that intoxicates the body, liquor, smoking, clubbing, all the sex. Sex can alter the mental as well. So let me say this. Now, I don't know if you remember, but when I was in high school and even for instance, watching the movie Love and Basketball, right?
Yeah.
One thing when it comes to sports is your coaches want to make sure that that mental is right before this game. I remember when I was in high school, they used to go crazy on it. Don't be with your boyfriend the night, you know what I mean? Don't be laid up with your boyfriend the night before, whatever. Even in Love and Basketball, you know, I remember seeing in Love and Basketball where they had, an instance where before a big game, and I remember it was the game the next day. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So again, sex can alter the mind as well.
You know that boxers, when they train for fights, they can't have sex during that whole training camp.
Nope.
And it's like, and I get it, like I understand why sex does consume a lot of health and a lot of energy.
It
especially
does.
like you have dead legs after the fact.
Right. And
So-
I don't know if you know, but when it comes to men and sex, when y'all release, it literally takes everything out of you. And I'm sure y'all can feel it, but mentally it's literally draining your whole entire body. You think you're just regularly releasing.
Right.
But you're literally releasing everything that you have in your body, whether that's emotions, feelings, whatever the case may be, you're releasing everything.
And I know you're right on point with that because this past year for 2022, I did semen retention.
I
did
like
semen
that.
retention,
How
right?
did that go?
And I speak about this, a lot. I loved it. I loved it. Like I'll touch on it a little bit because I'll probably gonna tie that into like next week.
Right.
But so semen retention made me feel sharp. It made me feel powerful. It made me feel like I had so much energy. Like
Wow.
I felt like a beast. Like
I
I just
am
felt
so
unstoppable.
glad I
what
finally
I'm
met
saying?
someone who
So
decided
yeah,
to
like
okay.
I got into semen retention and it changed my life.
Listen,
Like, it
when I
changed
tell
me.
you, I am constantly, I know we just recently started following each other on social media, but I'm real big on that. I'm real big on trying to enlighten. And, it's not to just keep it all about the Black community, but we're going to keep it about the Black community.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to enlighten our Black men how so important semen retention is. It
Semen-
is so important.
Semen retention is very powerful.
Yes.
Like when I tell you, like the reason, like I got here because of that. Like where I'm at right now mentally is because of the semen retention that I did. Like when I tell you, like it made me so sharp that it took my brain to a whole nother place.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like even with my health, like for me health wise, because here's the thing, like I'm a very sexual person, right? I'm a
Same
man,
here.
you know what I'm
Same
saying?
here.
Love, sex, can do it
Right.
all day, every day,
Right.
like all of that, right? When I did semen retention and it showed me that I could conquer that, when I say it made me feel like I could conquer anything within
Right.
myself,
Right.
health-wise, I
Right.
felt like a new person. Like nothing could stop me at that point.
Because right there, that's discipline. That's straight discipline. And if you can discipline yourself with semen retention, like it made, like you said, it made you feel so powerful. Like that, it will do that to you.
Yeah.
Even with the cleanse, I felt like I was someone that I didn't even know, like during this cleanse. And I'm just like, wow, like who am I? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like who is this girl? I can actually think straight. You know what I mean? I can make cautious decisions. Like it was just, it was out of this world. And it's like, it's so hard to even get into it because it's like, unless you physically experience it, you're not even going to know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like you got to really go in it for yourself and take that journey and see what it can do for you.
Like one thing that I can say, like I know about a cleanse, right? I know about this 3-day cleanse.
Right,
And
right.
pretty much it's like you lose 10 to 12 pounds in 3 days, right? And like
Right.
I know the recipe for this cleanse, right? And I've been saying to myself, like I never cleansed before. Like I need to do it. But me, I'm like, yo, I'm already 185. Like I ain't trying to
Right.
lose no weight,
Right.
whatever, right? But one thing that I've learned about cleansing is it works different for everybody, right?
Yes.
So how you said like you lost 30 pounds
Right.
in 39 days.
Right.
Everybody has to understand that it's not going to be the same result for them.
Right.
Because however your body is built and how you may do things may not be exactly how they do, or you could do the same exact things. Your body's going to respond different. And it goes back to what
Right.
you said earlier, like everything is not going to work for you that works for me. And so, I think a lot of people do cleanses and then they expect for the same result that they
Right.
heard or that they seen. It's like it doesn't work like that.
No. And just for an example, like, so within my cleanse, when I did a 39-day cleanse, it was a huge group of us, you know what I mean? From all around the world. There's people from all around the world that was doing this cleanse. And so I was able to see different perspectives, different testimonies, from so many different people around the world, and just see how everything is just different. No one's the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there were man, I wish I could remember the amount of people that were in this group, but I can't remember. But all the testimonies were different. Every single one was different. Some were the same. Some may have experienced some of the same things. But for the most part, a majority of them were different. So, like, for an example, I experienced the mental clarity. I experienced, I wasn't breaking out as much with my skin. So I have eczema or whatever. So I know with certain foods, not many people know this, but certain foods can trigger eczema. It's not only about the perfumes and the lotions and the laundry detergents. It's about what you're consuming.
Right.
Everything that you put in your body will show on the outside.
Yeah, I agree.
So with me giving my body a break from eating the standard American diet, I was able to physically see my skin change right before my very eyes. Just literally just straight clear skin. Now, for someone else in the cleanse that was doing the cleanse in the group, they were experiencing the opposite, right?
Right.
Because their body was detoxing. Now, me personally, I'm already a health freak. I try to keep things as healthy as possible. Every now and again, I'll go off the rail and, eat some junk food or something like that. But I try to keep things as healthy as possible. I really do. So someone else who may have like the crazy standard American diet where they're just, indulging on, all different kinds of starches and just, everything along those lines, they were experiencing the opposite effect. Everything started to show on the outside. They were breaking out all over their face and breaking out in rashes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, and that was just the body getting rid of that toxic waste. It was just popping up on the outside.
I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of water.
And that's important. Oh, you know what? Real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead. You good. You good.
So another thing with the cleanse, right? That was one thing I learned with the cleanse. And I wasn't aware of this until I began the cleanse. So with the cleanse, when you consume just fruits, that is literally enough to hydrate your body.
Yeah.
Right? So you think you're supposed to be drinking all this water, right? Just to hydrate yourself. But realistically, you should be consuming fruits. Fruits are going to hydrate your body twice as much than water would.
Yeah. And that's
literally,
the thing,
you don't even so on that cleanse, I literally stopped drinking water.
What's like your favorite fruit?
All I needed was fruit. My favorite fruit would have to be a mango. I love mangoes. Definitely a mango. Yeah. What's your favorite fruit?
Mine is pineapples and oranges.
I love me some pineapple too. I was gonna say pineapple, but I was like,
pineapple's always a vibe. Like it's like, especially if they cold too, right out the refrigerator. Pineapples is always a vibe. Like I'm always into pineapples for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I drink a lot of water though. Like I definitely drink a lot of water. Like I stopped drinking juice. I stopped drinking I'm from Chicago. We say pop.
Yeah.
But for everywhere else, they say soda.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So for you soda lovers, it's soda for you, but it's pop for me because I'm from Chicago and I'm always stay true to my roots and where I'm from.
Yeah.
I just got to throw that out there real quick.
I feel
but
you.
no, like so I drink a lot of water, right? And then outside of that, only time I ever drink pop or juice is if I get like something that comes with my meal.
Right.
That's probably
Same
like
here.
the only time.
Same
and
here.
then every once in a blue moon, I may indulge in like going to the store getting like juice or pop or something like that.
I'm the same way. I agree. And I can guarantee you, like, honestly, if you was to go back home, you go back home tomorrow or whatever, and you decide to just do, let's say you just do a 5-day cleanse or whatever, right? You start your day off. The way I start my days off, I don't consume anything until 12. So I don't know if you've ever heard of breaking your fast. It's literally breakfast, but broken up.
Right.
So you break your fast. You're fasting when you go to sleep at night, right? Because you're not consuming anything while you're sleeping. You're technically fasting. So it's best to fast until 12 noon. Now, when you break your fast, you should be breaking your fast with fruits, right?
Right.
When you break your fast or have breakfast in the morning, you're consuming all these heavy foods, right? Grits, pancakes, waffles, bacon, sausage. You know what I mean? Like, that's heavy. To start your day off like that, it's no bueno, because it's
Yeah.
like you're literally you're relaxing the body too much, because now you done filled it with all this heavy food, and now you're like, damn, I don't even feel like doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm full. You should never eat until you're full.
Run that back, Turbo.
Never.
Say it one more time
You
for
should
him.
never eat until
Run that
you're
back,
full.
Turbo, one more time for
Man,
him.
don't eat until you're full. You should stop yourself. Stop. Just stop.
Yeah,
you know,
like-
when you're satisfied, you good.
Right.
Satisfied, you're good. Don't eat until your stomach is bulged out and you're looking like you're 5 months pregnant. That's not how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to eat until you're satisfied.
Like, I don't like eating super early in the morning.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not
Like-
real big on it either. So that's why that works for me, breaking my fast at 12 noon with, you know, some fruit or a fruit smoothie. I personally prefer a fruit smoothie. And at one point, I was making a big plate of fruit, in the, you know, when I was breaking my fast, just making a big random plate of fruit. But it's much easier for me to just do a fruit smoothie. You know, toss some fruit in there, some frozen fruit in there, blend it up, and call it a day.
I love smoothies. Love
Yes,
them.
me
Drink them all
too.
day, every day.
And I love coming up with different types of combinations and stuff. It's endless. It's endless. The combinations you come with are endless. So, and now to elaborate on breaking your fast, before you break your fast, all you want to consume when you wake up is water.
Yeah.
Water or hot tea.
Okay.
Coffee, you want to stay away from that too. It's again, it's no good.
I never drunk
It's
coffee.
no good.
Never.
Yeah, I'm not a real big coffee drinker. And it was crazy is when I became a mom. The first year of me being a mom,
You got into coffee.
I got into coffee, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this ain't me. So I'm a tea drinker. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So in the morning when you wake up, you drink your water. You start with some warm lemon water, warm lime water.
Yeah, my
Then you
mom
go
do
ahead
that.
and go into your tea, you know, or just consume water, coconut water, and liquids. That's what it is. Any type of liquid that you can consume before breaking your fast is what you want to do. You don't want to fuel the body with anything until you're ready to break your fast. And again, when you're ready to break that fast, you break it with something that's going to enhance, something that's going to fuel the body, not something that's going to depress the body. You know what I mean? You want something that's going to waken it up, something that's going to be light on
Now, what made you come with that theory? Like, what brought you to that point where you like, yo, I'm not eating a 12, I'm not breaking my
Right.
fast? Like, what made you get
Right.
to that point of doing
So what made me got to that point was when I got heavy into Dr. Sebi. Dr.
Okay.
Sebi is what helped enlighten me on what worked for my body.
it? Right.
And it really could, I've seen it with my own eyes. It can work for anybody. You know what I mean? There's been plenty of people that I've helped where they're like, yo, I don't even got to take my blood pressure medication anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like this all falls back on what you are consuming, what you're consuming, when you're consuming it. It matters.
Dr.
It matters.
Sebi does.
Dr. Sebi, his work is legit.
Yeah,
you know what I
like,
mean?
for
Like
sure.
I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen plenty of people heal themselves, cure themselves of many health ailments.
So I learned about Dr. Sebi through Nipsey Hussle.
Right.
Right.
Respect.
I think Nipsey Hussle kind of put Dr. Sebi on the map
Oh, yeah.
for the black community
Yeah.
because a lot of us did not know nothing about him, right?
Some of us did, but
Yeah.
not enough.
Not enough, exactly.
Not enough.
Right?
Right.
And so when I started researching him, looking into it, I just started learning a lot, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
he was saying different things about like how broccoli is not supposed to be something that we eat because your body doesn't break that down.
Right. There are certain foods
Then-
that just don't.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was talking about that, and then I learned about black seed oil
Mm-hmm.
through him, right? So I take black seed oil every day, right?
Right.
And so I be talking to people on the phone. They're like, "Yo, I'm sick. I'm this. I'm that."
Right.
I have not been sick, caught a cold, the flu, or anything since December of 2019.
Right.
January of 2020, I started taking black seed oil. Never ever been sick ever again, right? And so what I
Legit.
found out is black seed oil can cure everything except for death and HIV.
Literally.
This is a fact. You can Google
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
You can like literally
Yes.
Google black seed oil. It'll pop up, right?
Yes.
It can cure STDs. It can
Yep.
cure anxiety, headaches.
Same thing with that cleanse that I
Yeah.
was on. That cleanse that I
Basically
was
the
on,
same
and that's
thing.
why it was so strict, right?
Yeah.
The cleanse that I was on was so strict. I mean, like I just said, alkaline fruits only, water, coconut water, and hot tea. That's it.
Right.
You're literally giving your body a break from the American diet. So like your body is able to heal itself. That cleanse that I was on was able to heal you from, like you just said, STDs, high blood pressure, fatty liver. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, that 90-day cleanse alone can help heal the body.
And for just to put it out there, that don't mean for the fellas that's watching this. Don't go get your meat not tested out. Go test your meat. Go
stay
still
wrapped
test
up,
it.
y'all. Stay wrapped up.
Definitely stay wrapped up, but definitely like black seed oil will help you though. Like for sure.
Yes, and that sea moss too. So that's strictly what my business was based off of. I have a small business or whatever, and it was strictly based off of sea moss. Are you familiar with sea moss?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I based my business off of. But I eventually got into other things like, creating extracts and creating different tinctures and stuff like that. Elderberry syrup.
So you really into this? Like you serious with it?
Oh yeah.
So you into the beet juice and all of that stuff too?
Oh yeah. Listen, I'm into it for real.
Did you know that beet juice actually increase your libido?
Yes.
Like
yes, sir.
I'm talking about it.
People literally drink it before going to the gym as their pre-workout. You know what I mean? Like
right.
It's like that. Beet juice is definitely like that.
Beet juice is that move.
Yeah.
Like for real. Definitely gotta have beet juice for
sure.
And then like another thing was like with Dr. Sebi, how could you not really like pay attention to him? Like this man literally like cured people.
Literally.
Like brought a man all these different things.
They're out there. The testimonies are out there. But again, that all falls back on how we were speaking on. We don't necessarily care to know. You know what I mean? Because we're so stuck in our ways. And that's people as a whole. We so stuck in our ways. We don't. We may hear what you talking about, but we not really listening. You know what I mean? Like, you say you could heal me from my high blood pressure or whatever the case may be, but I'm cool.
One last thing I definitely do want to like touch on though, like, because I know like we gotta do some more things and everything like that. I want to touch on the pharmaceutical game.
Yes, let's touch on that. Yeah, real quick. Let's touch on that Western medication.
Listen. Pharmaceutical is the most dirtiest game, right?
Yes, sir.
And I know this for a fact. Prime example: when you go get tested for an STD, right?
Right.
They have you pee in a cup, or some of them even do blood work, right?
Right.
Why is it that they tell you, all right, go home, we're gonna test your urine, or we're gonna sample your blood or whatever, and we'll call you and let you know what's going on, right?
Right.
So the moment that you walk in there, right, they already have it in their head that you're basically at a place where you feel like something is off, something is wrong. That's why you're here, right?
Right.
So if I know that I can give you a pink pill, you're going to take this pill. I know you're not going to die from it.
Right.
And you're going to take this pill and not have sex for 7 days. Why would I not prescribe that to you automatically by telling you that you got something that you probably don't even have? So why is it that they can't test it right there in front of us for us to see what's going on? So if you're just taking a urine sample, what do you do with urine? You normally just do a drop,
a little drop, yeah. Or you put a little strip in there, something along that line.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but they always tell us, like, we'll call you, we'll let you know what's
we'll call you with
right?
the results, yeah.
So, true story. So, I know someone who tested positive for something, right? They tested positive for something, and then their partner went and got tested, and theirs came back negative.
Right.
Now, this is in 2 different places, 2 different states. Don't go to the same doctor, none of that, right?
Right.
How is that possible?
So let me break it down for you. The reason why that's possible is because many people don't know this, right? Now, people in the medical field, of course, they know this. But men, for some reason, they may hold the trait of the STD, right?
Right.
It may be harboring in their system or whatever the case may be, but they haven't had an outbreak yet. Right. It's laying dormant. You know what I mean? It's just laying dormant in their system, but they haven't had an outbreak yet. But that doesn't mean just because they haven't had an outbreak yet that they cannot pass it along to the next person.
Okay.
Because technically it's in their system. It's just laying dormant. It haven't popped yet. So that's how that's possible. I've heard many stories where a husband and wife, you know what I mean? They've been together for 15 years or whatever the case may be. Ain't never cheated. Neither one never cheated. None of that. Wifey may pop for, a STD, and now hubby is over here like, hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You been cheating on me? You know what I mean? And she, no, I ain't been cheating on you, Da-da-da-da. The doctor is literally going to break it down for you just like how I broke it down for you. What could have happened, it could have been laying dormant in her system for years. Something can lay dormant in your system for a very, very long time, way before you get married to your husband or whatever the case may be. This could be something that could have gotten into your system when you first lost your virginity.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it just so happened 15 years later, now you popping for it.
Right.
So that's how it works, and it's scary. I've always felt like when I finally learned about that, I always felt like that was just one of the scariest things ever, that you could just have something laying dormant in your system, and then out of nowhere, 10, 15, 20 years later, now you testing positive for something that is like, hold on, wait, how? So that's how that works. And like I said from the beginning, most men don't normally pop for certain things, because I can't remember exactly why, but they really don't. It's women, for the most part, that will show a sign automatically right away.
Right.
A man technically won't show any type of symptoms right away.
Yeah, that's very
So
deep.
that's how stuff can get passed around.
That's definitely deep, man. People got to really look into that. Like,
things lie dormant in the system.
Yeah.
Yep, and you never know. That to me, that's the scariest part about it all. You'll never know.
That's definitely deep, man. But man, I appreciate you this week, man. It's been a blast. It's definitely been a great conversation that's been needing to get out there. I couldn't wait to have this one with you. But I'm your boy Shauna Kareem. You can find me on Instagram at the Heart of Love Podcast.
And I'm your girl, Jaslyn Jane. You can find me on Instagram at Jaslyn_Jane.
And we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.